Introducing HVAC Super Pro, a cool new bonding technology that saves you time and money. You have to see it. It's amazing. No more burned out expansion valves or electronic modules. No more lugging a 50-pound torch up ladders and into sweltering hot attics. The perfect solution for bonding copper, aluminum, and brass in any combination without a torch, expensive tools, or crimps. Super Pro is compatible with all refrigerants and oils and was formulated specifically to exceed the requirements of the 410A refrigerant and POE oil. One bottle of HVAC Super Pro will make over 200 bonds if using 5/8-inch tubing at half the cost of silver brazing. Super Pro is perfect for all HVAC and refrigerant systems, and HVAC Super Pro is easy and fast to use. First, sand the inside of the connector and the outside of the tube with 60 grit sanding cloth. Leave the sanding dust on the connector and tube. Do not wipe it off, as this will contaminate the bonding area. Super Pro will not bond to any ferrous metal such as steel or iron. Therefore, do not use a wire brush to clean the inside of the connector or the tube. Small particles of the brush adhere to the tubing and reduces the strength of the bond. Next, shake the bottle of HVAC Super Pro and apply a bead of Super Pro around the leading edge of the inside of the connector and the outside leading edge of the tube. The thickness of the bead depends on the size of the tubing. On larger tubing, it is best to spread the Super Pro over the entire bonding area of the inside of the connector and the outside of the tube. HVAC Super Pro is not a glue. It is non-toxic and will not irritate skin. The final step is to insert the tube into the connector and do not disturb the bond for 3 minutes when bonding copper or brass and 5 minutes when bonding aluminum. During this time, HVAC Super Pro is changing from a liquid into an ultra-strong covalent bond. When bonding an elbow or T, make the alignment within the first 10 seconds of the bonding period. It is critical that you do not disturb the bond after the 10-second period and before the 3 or 5 minute bonding process is complete. When making multiple bonds on connectors, elbows, or T's, make the bonds one at a time. Allow each bond to remain undisturbed for 3 or 5 minutes, depending on the tube material you are bonding, before making the next bond. When making a bond involving a long length or very large tubing, support the tubing in the final position before making the bond. If the tubing is not supported, the bond will be broken from the stress on the bond before the 3 or 5 minute mandatory period. On large tubing, the bond can give way completely. 12 minutes after making the bond on copper or brass and 20 minutes after making the bond on aluminum, the Super Pro bond will hold a minimum of 850 psi contained pressure. At this time, you can pull a vacuum, perform a nitrogen purge, or charge the system. There will be a small amount of liquid Super Pro on the inside of the bond. This will remain liquid until a vacuum is pulled or a nitrogen purge is performed. When either of these is performed, the small amount of liquid sheets the inside of the tube with a micro-thin solid bond that even the POE oil will not strip away. The Super Pro on the outside of the tube will not harden and can be wiped off after the 3 or 5 minute mandatory bonding time. Super Pro is an anaerobic and only hardens between the connector and tubing. Super Pro has a temperature range of -65 degrees to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which far exceeds the exhaust temperature of a 410A system. The 350-degree constant temperature range makes HVAC Super Pro ideal for all types of hydroheating systems, including boilers and baseboard heaters. HVAC Super Pro is impervious to fuels, solvents, bases to pH 12, acids, and glycol. Super Pro has been tested at accelerated vibration levels to simulate the vibration of HVAC and refrigeration systems. To bond properly, Super Pro must have a minimum gap of 5 to 10 thousandths of an inch. This permits the Super Pro to flow completely around the bond. This is also why there isn't any galvanic corrosion when using Super Pro to bond copper to aluminum. The aluminum does not actually touch the copper due to the acrylic bond between the two metals. The maximum gap that Super Pro will fill is 20 thousandths of an inch. If you need to take an HVAC Super Pro bond apart, heat the bond to approximately 450 degrees and it will pull apart. Resand and reapply HVAC Super Pro. HVAC Super Pro is guaranteed to last the life of any HVAC or refrigeration system and is backed by $2 million product liability insurance. HVAC Super Pro, the coolest new product in the HVAC and refrigeration industry. So keep your torch in the truck and a bottle in your tool belt. Start saving time and money by using HVAC Super Pro.